everybody, this is Chris. Thank you for joining me. This tutorial is going to be about jewelry making, and we're going to be making some rings. Well, actually, we're going to make the rings, but most importantly is that we're going to make the ring base because we're going to glue things on top. So, actually, you know these ring findings that is the flat part on it. Well, I have a ton of these, but they're usually in color silver. And they're quite large. Can you see this? They're really large. I wanted something a bit more feminine, something that you don't see as much, but that still is going to hold whatever I need to glue on top. And also the problem I have is that I have a whole bunch of the same size circle here, the same size top, if you wish, or plate if you want to. I think it's called a plate. And I wanted sometimes to have something either bigger or smaller, but I don't want to buy a whole bunch of these. I want to be able to make them whenever I need them and in the color I want, whether it's gold or gold, pink gold, or silver, but something a little more feminine. So this is what it's going to look like. And this one, I haven't glued anything yet on top, but I think it's still very nice, and you could use it as is, or you can also make it bigger or smaller and put it here on your little finger. I think it's quite nice. So this is gold plated. It's not plain gold because it's quite expensive, and it's really easy to do. You're going to be able to do them in any size for any finger, and also here the coil is going to be any size for whatever you want to do, and the back is still really nice, and it's adjustable, so you can make this for a whole bunch of different rings. So here is one example. This is another example which looks a little different, and I will show you how to do that. It's very simple, and I have put a flat bead on top, a flat pearl. I love pearls. You could also put stones on top, really whatever you want actually. Anything that is going to be with a flat back is going to be nice. I'm going to use probably this piece I have done before. This is just hot glue with some beads, pearl beads, so you can really embellish and make your own very own rings using this method. So what I'm going to use right now, because I don't have it in gold, is just a silver wire. And this is about 18-inch gauge wire. Well, what you need to do first is that depending on what kind of piece you're going to put on top, the bigger, the heavier, you will need something thicker, your wire thicker and stiffer. Don't use something that is too bendable or that soft, because if you're using something too soft, which is the case for this ring, it tends to loses its shape very quickly. And when you hold something in your hand, it's going to squish it and it's going to lose its shape. So I would consider using 20 gauges. To me, too soft and too small, so maybe 18 gauge or 16 gauge wire. The smaller the number is, the bigger your wire is going to be. Okay, so here for the measurements, it's not precise. It's going to depend on your finger, the size of your finger, and it's also going to depend on the size of your coil. The bigger the coil, the more wire you will need, and also the bigger your finger is, the more wire you will need. So I'm just going to give you the measurements for my fingers because mine are not that big. So here, for example, in centimeters, it was about 15, if I'm not wrong. I'm going to give it to you first in inches. So this small one, the simple one I'm going to make first, is about 6.5 inches, which is in centimeters something like 16 and a half centimeters. That's for the first ring. But again, I have a small finger, so if you have a bigger one and you're doing a big coil, make it bigger. So the tools that you are going to need, of course, are some pliers, cutters, and what I like to use also, this one is really ugly, but it works really well, are some round nose pliers. You don't have to have these, but I think it's really convenient. And also what I like, for example, in this one, the same thing I have on that one, is that there's a place here that has a flat part with no tooth on it or teeth on it, which is not going to indent your metal. That's nice. So if you have something with no teeth like this one here, If you can see it, there's one part here with some teeth, and this part here is flat. That's good to have. So once we have our piece of wire, we're going to fold it in half. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the better, the more accurate it is, the better. We're going to bend it. All right, maybe I should use a color background because I'm afraid that you may not see what I'm doing. Hold on a second. Yeah, I think it's going to be much easier now. Okay, right. So we have our wire that is folded in half. And now we're going to use our round nose pliers, put it here in the middle, and then we're going to crisscross. And I'm putting it on top here because I want to start a very small coil. And we're going to bend one of the threads here, or wire, so it looks like this. Can you see it? I don't want to get too close in your face either. I'm sorry. Might come a little closer anyway. Right. And now I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these pliers where it's flat. Hold it like this. And one of the wire, I'm going to start coiling it. And because my wire is quite hard, it's useful for me if I use this tool just at least in the beginning. This one I'm going to put it down a little bit, and we're going to coil it until you're happy with the size you wish. First, I would consider knowing what you want to put on top, what you want to glue on top, and then make sure it's the right size and keep on coiling until you're happy with it. See where I'm going now? I'm going to make it a little bigger. Usually I like big rings, so I put big stuff on these. You could use anything that has a flat back to it is going to be just fine. I think it's a bit too big now. Yeah, that's fine. And you need to leave a little space here, a little tail, because that's going to wrap around your finger, okay? Right, so this part is a bit too long, so I'm going to trim it down. I'm not going to waste it because I might use it for something else just in case. So I'm going to trim it about there. Right? Okay, so now I'm going to put it upside down. And I think I really need to come closer now. Okay, so I'm upside down. I've got one here that was in the center in the beginning. And I'm going to hold that to make it really flat everywhere. It's good to do it right now. I'm going to try to put it here going through the center in one direction, so my other piece is going to go the other direction. So let me show you first. I want to make it go like this to go in the center of my circle here, kind of. Okay. And the other piece, I'm going to make it go like this. I'm going to go on top. And they both need to be parallel. So I'm going to play with them until I'm happy. And I'm going to use my round nose pliers to give it a bend. Like this. All right. See? I'm not completely in the center, so I'm going to play with it a little bit more. Really take your time with this, especially if you're a beginner. And there's something I want to tell you about that. If you're a beginner, you should maybe have some wire that is not expensive at all. So you can train on a piece of wire that if you make a mistake, you're not going to waste a lot of money on it, okay? That's important, especially when we're beginners. I'm going to do the same thing here. And I am much happier with this. So what I'm going to do now, because this has opened just a tiny bit, make it really flat. That's good. And now you can use a mandrel, or for me, it's not easy to use a mandrel. I don't know why. So I'm just using here a nail polish, the cap of a lid of the nail polish, and I'm going to go around here because it's right about my size, a little bit bigger, and I'm going to go around with my wire. All right, there it goes. I'm straightening this out. And here, what we're going to do, it's just the right size. I know it's going to be a bit too big if I use it, I'm sorry, if I use it on this hand. So I know I can make it a little smaller. And again, you can play with it, make sure it's fine. So cut it a bit bigger, because what we're going to do now, and I'm going to use the round nose pliers again, is that on the side here, okay, your ring is like this, turn it over, and you're going to use your your round nose pliers, and it's going to go on the side here. You'll understand what I mean in a second. I'm going to grab this part. I'm really on the edge here as much as I can, and I'm going to make a little coil. That's how I'm going to end my ring. And I'm going to straighten that out. I'm sorry, I have some ink on my fingers. There you go. Can you see it better this way? And I'm going to do the same thing here on the other side, so they're not facing each other, they're on opposite sides. I'm going to do the same thing there, and then I'm going to be here and go the other way, the other direction, to straighten it. So this is how it looks right now. All right. So here at this point, make sure it's still on your size. I think it's still a bit too big for me, so I'm going to play with this just a tiny bit. Close it up. So if it's really too big, you can cut it and redo what we've just done, or you can crisscross them here on your finger. Okay, like this. For me, it's going to be just fine. I could put it also on this finger if I wanted to. And now you can really glue whatever you want. So I'm not sure yet. I have done last time when I was doing resin, I had some leftovers and I decided that I didn't want to waste it. So I used all these little molds, and I like the fact that it's translucent. Even though you're going to see the part underneath, I don't really mind. I don't think it's ugly. But if you don't like it, you can do, this is exactly the same. The only thing I have done here is that I've used nail polish. You can also use acrylic that I painted the back of it so you don't see the ring underneath. But honestly, because this piece is small and is done quite well, I'm just going to straighten this up. I can see there's a little something there. All right. And it's flat. As you can see, it's completely flat. I think I'm going to glue this piece here on top. I really like this color. It's gorgeous. It's sea-like color. I have another shape. I could use this one as well. I'm not sure. I think I might use this one. I think I'm going to use this one. So you can use either East 6000, which is one of the best glue ever because it really sticks everything to everything, which is really important. Or you can use, because this is not heavy at all, I'm going to use just plain quick drying crazy glue or something like that. So let me just find it and I'll be back. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to use this glue. I'm going to put it in there really well. All right, let me close it quickly. I don't want this to dry on me. And I was wondering, I could put this too. No, I'm just going to do it that way. So to make sure, first make sure you know in which direction you want a piece to be. I want my piece to be like this, so I need to make my ring go the other way. And there you go. I'm going to leave it dry and I will be able to wear it in just a second. I'm going to make the other ring to show you another option. but it's more or less the same technique. So now I have a piece of wire that is longer. So I'm going to measure this one for you. Let's see. Let me go back. This one is about, in centimeters, about 23 centimeters, and in inches it's going to be around 9 inches. It needs to be longer because we're going to wrap it around our finger several times. All right. So remember, in the first ring we started in the center. Now we're going to start on one side of it, which means, again, I'm going to take my round nose pliers. All right, really getting at the end there, and I'm going to start my coil. There, okay, hope you can see it. And now, again, I have a better luck doing it downwards. I don't know why. And I'm going to start coiling. And this is a really stiff material that I have here. So I need to really press hard on my hand there to keep it in place. Okay, so now that I'm at this stage, I think it's going to be big enough. Again, you can make it smaller, you can make it better. What I'm going to do is take my, the same thing that I used before. You can again use a mandrel, and what I'm going to do is go several times around here, like at least 2 or 3 times, to make it look nice and to go around my finger. See how it looks? I mean, it can't be easier than that. I'm going to make it just a little smaller. Do you see how it fits? Oh, it's good. It's perfect. You can put it in this direction or you can put it in that direction, okay? So I've got 1, 2, 3, plenty enough. You could do more if you want to. I'm going to squish them a bit together and I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to cut it around here, I think. Yep, right. And again, I want to make something look nice, and I'm going to curl it again on the side here. Need to take this a little better. And whoops. You know what? I prefer that one. It's ugly. There's rust everywhere. It's not, but you know what? I love it. Good old tools that have been with me for a while. So again, I'm closing it exactly the same way I've done before. Just going to put that back to make it look nice. I'm going to close it a bit more. That's, I think, a nice way to finish it and not worrying for anything poking up. Look at that. I think it's darn cute. Hope you can still see it. And now the same thing. You can put anything you want to put on the top. So I have a lot of these pendants. They're in silver as well, which is good. This is Tibetan silver, and you can find a lot of these on many websites. But this is supposed to be a pendant. So I don't want to see this. I don't want to see the pendant there. So I'm just going to cut this part as well as I can. Be careful when you cut metal like this. All right. There you go. Now it looks nicer. And I'm going to be able to glue it down. Let me see. I can put it facing me, which is not bad. Otherwise, it's going to be really big. Oh, it's not bad either that way. Depending if you have long or short fingers, I prefer it this way because I want to be able to see these. So I'm going to take my glue again and I'm going to put it on the mandrel So it's going to stay there as long as I need to make it stick, because it's going to be easier like this. Quick drying glue, but it's a strong one. I shouldn't have any problem. And also, the pendant that I'm going to glue on is not heavy, so, and I said that way. All right, so that's it. Let me show you, this one is dry now. Let me go back a little bit, zoom out. Look at this ring, how nice. Just made with some leftovers. Really think it's cute. It's the right size. It's not going anywhere. You know, I can shake my hand. I really like it. And I have this one that I showed you previously. Maybe the next one, what I'm going to do is putting this one on top. I love pearls. I just love pearls. And I like the fact that the shape is uneven. Wearing this as a ring is not a problem for me, honestly. Could wear it here if I wanted to. You've got this one as well with the white background. Or you could also use a paper flower. Look at this, paper flower on top. For summer, I think it's absolutely awesome. I will show you probably next time how you can transform or give some more interest to your paper flowers using resin. I had a flower somewhere around here. Let me find it and I will show you that. You know how much I love resin, and especially UV resin, because it dries so quickly. So this is the original flower. This is how it looks, paper flower. I bought it just like so, and I turned it into this, and now it's hardened because of the resin. Just UV resin. You could do this maybe if you have a very strong or thick varnish, glossy varnish, but look how nice. And now, even if it's raining, you can wear it, because I've put that resin all over the place. I just painted, and then I used my UV lamp to make it cure completely. It was done in minutes. It has darkened a little bit, but I think love it. You can see the white underneath. The green is beautiful as well. And I really think I'm going to wear it maybe as a bracelet or as a pendant. It's going to be a bit big for a ring, even though I love big rings. But it's another hand that will be for in a future video. And let me see if this one has dried. It has. Look, the background is so nice. It looks professional. You could sell these rings actually, because it's silver. It's all silver. And when it starts to tarnish a little bit, the best way to do it, the cheapest way you do it, is to use some liquid soap and a toothbrush, an old toothbrush, and it's going to come back like a new piece of jewelry. That's a bit small. I want to put it, usually put bigger rings in the middle, in my center piece, in my center finger. Look at that. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. You can, of course, put it that way too. Again, you could have put the heart in the other direction, but I really like it this way. It's very feminine. I have not so long hands, but I really like it. It doesn't bother me at all to open up or close my hands. So there you go. I like this one as well. Maybe I should put that one in the other direction just for a change. Not bad too. Look at that, flat. It's a pearl, flat back. You could put a pom-pom. You could put anything actually that is flat on top. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me some thumbs up. That's really important. And leave a comment or questions if you have any. If you just want to come and say hello, I love that. I love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions as well. And also don't forget to subscribe, to hit the bell button, and also share on social medias. You have Pinterest, you have Facebook, and I do have a Facebook page. You have Twitter. Go there and share my channel, please, so it can grow more and more. Thank you so much. Take care and see you soon.